Indonesia is situated between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, with its archipelago spanning across 3 time zones. Major islands include Java, Sumatra, Borneo, Sulawesi, and Papua. The country is characterized by lush tropical rainforests, active volcanoes, and beautiful beaches. Capital and major cities. The capital city is Jakarta, located on the island of Java, and serves as the economic and political center. Indonesia's right in the middle of the Pacific Ring of Fire, which basically means it's like living in a hotspot for earthquakes and volcanoes. They've got around 130 active volcanoes, making eruptions and quakes a pretty regular thing. It's all because of the crazy interactions between tectonic plates. The Indo-Australian, Pacific, and Eurasian plates are all hanging out around Indonesia. This geological setup gives Indonesia its diverse landscapes and fertile soils, but also brings some challenges. Indonesia is the 4th most populous country globally, with over 270 million people, which gives it a tremendously large labor force. The population is diverse, comprising various ethnic groups, including Javanese, Sundanese, Balinese, and many others. Along with the huge population, Indonesia has a relatively young population, with a significant percentage under the age of 30. This youth demographic contributes to the country's dynamic energy and potential for economic growth. The majority of Indonesians live in rural areas, but urbanization has been on the rise, particularly in cities like Jakarta and Surabaya. While Bahasa Indonesia is the official language, the archipelago is home to numerous regional languages and dialects spoken by various ethnic communities. Indonesia is the biggest Muslim-majority country in the world. Islam arrived in Indonesia through trade and missionary activities, gradually becoming the dominant religion. The sultanates of Demak and Mataram played significant roles in the Islamization process. In the 17th to 20th centuries, the Dutch East India Company established dominance in the archipelago, leading to 3 centuries of Dutch colonial rule. Indonesia became a crucial source of spices and other valuable resources for the Dutch. During World War II, Indonesia was occupied by Japan. This period had a profound impact on the nationalist movements that would later seek independence. Indonesia declared independence on August 17, 1945, following the end of World War II. A diplomatic and armed struggle against Dutch forces ensued, culminating in the recognition of Indonesian independence in 1949. Sukarno became Indonesia's first president, emphasizing nationalism and anti-imperialism. Economic challenges and political instability marked this period, leading to the establishment of the New Order regime under President Suharto in 1965. The New Order era of Suharto's regime focused on economic development but was criticized for authoritarianism and corruption. The period of the New Order under President Suharto from 1966 to 1998 in Indonesia was marked by notable strides in economic development, urbanization, and industrial growth. Suharto's government implemented policies that spurred economic expansion, attracted foreign investments, and facilitated the creation of essential infrastructure. However, the era was overshadowed by a restrictive political atmosphere, characterized by limited freedom of expression and the suppression of dissenting voices. Criticisms of corruption within the ruling elite, especially involving Suharto's family, became pronounced, leading to widespread discontent. It also left a complicated story in Indonesia's history. The Asian financial crisis in 1997 triggered widespread protests, leading to the fall of Suharto's regime in 1998. So, after the Asian financial crisis, Indonesia decided to shake things up. They introduced a bunch of political and economic reforms, known as reformasi. In the political scene, they moved away from a military-led system to a democratic setup with term limits for the president. Indonesia transitioned to a more democratic system, with subsequent presidents working to address economic challenges, decentralize power, and promote social and political reforms. They also got serious about fixing up the economy, attracting foreign investment, and letting businesses grow. Indonesia continues to face challenges related to economic inequality, environmental issues, and governance. But the country has made strides in economic development, technological advancement, and improving infrastructure. Indonesia has experienced steady economic growth in recent years. Policies aimed at infrastructure development, economic reform, and attracting foreign investment gained its economic success. First of all, Indonesia's got a ton of cool stuff in its backyard: minerals, natural gas, and loads of agricultural products. It's the palm oil capital of the world, churning out a massive share of the global supply. They're not just about palm oil though. Think rubber, coffee, cocoa, and tropical fruits. You name it, they probably grow it. And if you're into mining, Indonesia's your go-to place with its rich coal, tin, nickel, and other mineral deposits. Indonesia's prominence in the global nickel market is of paramount importance to the nation. With vast nickel reserves, Indonesia has positioned itself as a key global producer of this vital metal with 37% of nickel production in the world. Nickel holds strategic significance for Indonesia's economy, acting as a linchpin in the production of stainless steel, a cornerstone material in construction and industry. Furthermore, the critical role of nickel in emerging technologies, the world is turning into producing electric cars more than ever, so one of the most important materials for their batteries, nickel is so much in demand. And another important ingredient, Indonesia produces 5% of the world's cobalt production. This really amplifies its importance for Indonesia's economic growth and its pivotal role in meeting the demands of rapidly evolving industries. For agriculture, Indonesia is the biggest palm oil producer in the world and second largest rubber producer following Thailand. Indonesia has produced 46 million tons of palm oil in 2022, about 62% of global palm oil production. The scale of palm oil production, in particular, has raised environmental concerns such as deforestation and habitat destruction. But don't worry, Indonesia has a plan for it. The World Resource Institute released a statement on Indonesia's updated climate commitment to the UN on July 23, 2021. It highlights new measures for adaptation, specific targets, and the first long-term climate strategy submitted to the UNFCCC. While positive steps were taken, the 2030 emissions targets remain the same as in 2016. A long-term strategy aims for peak emissions in 2030 and potentially achieving net zero by 2060, needing more international climate finance. Indonesia becomes an attractive investment for global net zero goals. The statement acknowledges progress in reducing deforestation and recommends commitments to zero deforestation by 2030 and stopping new coal plant investments. Indonesia's strategic geographical location is significantly highlighted by its positioning between the Asian continent and Australia. Situated at the crossroads of these two continents, Indonesia plays a pivotal role in connecting major geopolitical and economic regions in the Eastern Hemisphere. It is located in the most important trade routes globally, which are the Malacca Strait, Sunda Strait, and the Lombok Strait. Indonesia's strategic geographical location is indeed underscored by the Malacca Strait, a crucial waterway that connects the Indian Ocean to the South China Sea. There aren't many choke points on Earth, and Indonesia owns one of the most important ones. The Malacca Strait is a vital maritime choke point, and Indonesia's proximity to and control over this strategic passage enhances its geopolitical significance. When it comes to military might, Indonesia may not be in the superpower league, but in every other aspect, especially in Southeast Asia, it's a big player. Personally, I don't think it's a good idea for Indonesia to splurge on building up its military strength just to boost its superpower status. The country has done pretty well so far by leveraging its markets and resources to keep potential aggression in check. Why fix something that ain't broke? Indonesia's got something big going on with its people. I mean, we're talking about over 270 million people, making it the fourth most crowded place on the planet. But what's really interesting is how young the crowd is. Lots of them are under 30. That youthful energy isn't just cool, it's a game changer. With this massive population, Indonesia's got this buzzing workforce that's pushing things forward. Plus, these young people are consumers, driving up demand and catching the eye of investors. But here's the deal, to make the most of this youth wave, Indonesia needs to amp up education, skills, and job opportunities. So, as Indonesia rides this demographic wave, it's not just about the numbers, it's about steering this energy towards long-lasting growth and influence. Indonesia has officially launched Southeast Asia's inaugural bullet train, connecting Jakarta and Bandung, as part of China's Belt and Road Infrastructure Initiative with a budget of $7.3 billion. The high-speed train, reaching speeds of 350 kilometers per hour, covers 86 miles between Jakarta and Bandung in under an hour, significantly reducing travel time, and it is named Whoosh. Moreover, Indonesia's been busy with some pretty cool infrastructure projects lately. They're working on this massive Trans-Java toll road, connecting Jakarta to Surabaya, making travel more efficient across Java. And then there's the Jakarta Mass Rapid Transit MRT system, tackling the crazy traffic situation in the capital. And don't forget about the Palapa Ring Broadband project. They're laying down underwater fiber optic cables to amp up internet connectivity between the islands. Down in South Sulawesi, they're expanding the Pair port to handle more cargo and boost regional trade. Sumatra's getting a facelift too with the Trans-Sumatra Toll Road, making it easier to move stuff around. And Yogyakarta is stepping up its game with the new Yogyakarta International Airport, ready to welcome more visitors. These projects show Indonesia's seriousness about growing its economy and keeping things connected. Indonesia is at best a regional power for now, the strongest among ASEAN nations by its military power and strong demographics. Indonesia is not a world superpower like the USA or Soviet Union or China. And Indonesia don't need those things obviously. But Indonesia will be a leading country with the most influence among ASEAN, plus a huge economic clout, although corruption and poverty are the limiters to its rise. Indonesia also very rarely punches above its own weight, unlike some countries such as the UK and Australia. In say 10-20 years, Indonesia has the potential to become a great power, and will most definitely be, as it could be the voice of ASEAN in the years to come.